The Old Testament, the Pentateuch: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. The Pentateuch is the first 5 books of the Bible, called Torah in the Hebrew Scriptures. Though we often call these books the Law, Torah does not mean law, but teaching. Basic to the Torah is the idea of the covenant. A covenant is an agreement. In the Bible, covenants are special because God is one of the parties to the covenant. Biblical covenants have 3 parts: a statement about God's saving act, what God brings to the agreement, a statement about what God expects from humanity in response, and a sign or symbol as a reminder of the covenant. The Torah is in part a record of God's covenant and the implications of the covenant for human life and society. Genesis begins with the creation, setting the covenant in the context of God's rule over the entire universe. The first covenant is with Adam and Eve, and through them, with all humanity, and includes the understanding that human beings will be responsible stewards of all of creation. The second covenant is with Noah, the promise that the world will never again be destroyed by flood. Then the biblical account focuses on one particular person, Abraham, who enters into covenant with God and is given the promise that he and his descendants will become a blessing to all humanity. Through the narratives dealing with Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Leah and Rachel, and Joseph, the questions of faithfulness to the covenant and hope for the fulfillment of God's promises take concrete form. Exodus centers on the escape of God's people from Egypt under the leadership of Moses and the making of the Great Covenant at Mount Sinai. The parts of the covenant are clear. God's gracious saving act is seen in Passover and Exodus. The expectation of human response is summarized in the 10 Commandments. And the Feast of Passover is the great sign and reminder. Moses, Aaron, and Miriam are both the leaders of God's people and the models of struggle and faith. Leviticus takes its name from the Latin word for Book of the Levites. The major concern of the book is the holiness of the community of Israel. Holiness means to be set apart by God for a special purpose. Holiness is expressed in proper forms of worship and living out the love of God in the routine of daily life. The Holiness Code, chapters 17 to 27, is a good example of how worship and justice mingle together in the life of Israel. Numbers is named for the census that begins the book. The narrative part of the book is the wilderness journey from Kadesh Barnea to the Promised Land. Included are the great accounts of the spies entering Canaan, the 40 years of wandering, and the miracles of Moses. Finally come the conquests of the kingdoms of Sihon and Og in the Transjordan, and the story of Balaam. The book ends with Israel prepared to enter the Promised Land under the leadership of Joshua. Deuteronomy is written as Moses' farewell speech before the tribes enter the land. It reviews God's acts of salvation and the implications of salvation for life. The book itself was apparently found in the temple in the reign of Josiah, 621 BC. The discovery sparked a great religious reform. One of the real concerns of Deuteronomy is how to make old traditions relevant for a new time. The most important statement of belief is the Shema, found in 6:4-5. If you are not following us, you may never see us again. And if you are, congratulations, for you are growing every day. God bless you. God bless you.